You need to continue to be in the most relevant placements and experimenting outside of what you know and what you're comfortable with. Ultimately, we found some guys who are very good at what they do, and we double down with them to make sure that our offering is expansive as possible.
Before we jump into today's episode, I have to talk to you about the biggest affiliate marketing event on the East Coast. That is Affiliate Summit East. It is going down in New York City at the Marriott Marquis, August 4th through the 5th. This is the event that you need to be at if you're an affiliate, if you're a publisher, if you're driving traffic, whatever it is. If you're in the affiliate space, this is the event that you need to be at. I will be there. We'll be bringing the Boost Show there, doing live interviews. You're going to meet so many incredible people. The next person that's going to help you to grow your business. And right now, listeners of the Boost Podcast can get a big discount of 15% off of your ticket. Just use the code BOOST15. That's BOOST15. I cannot wait to see you in New York at Affiliate Summit East. Hey guys, welcome back to the Boost presented by Affiliate Summit, Grommet, and Giddy Up. And we are here on the floor of Affiliate Summit West. I'm hanging out with Cooper Schwartz from the Money Group. What's happening, my man?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Having a good show?
I'm having a great show.
Man, we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about content. We're going to talk about some of the fun things you guys are doing over at Money Group, money.com. I want to kick it off. Like, what has you excited about content and commerce in 2025?
I just think that everybody who came in terrified about AI and everything else that was going to change our universe just adapted. There were shakeups. Google, learned us a thing or two, and we still learned that all the editors that are out there who are worried about getting nixed are just as important as ever, and people are finding creative ways to get the job done, keeping consumers involved. I'm still very bullish on what's going to happen this year.
Yeah. What does content look like at the Money Group? Is it text only, text, podcast, text, video, social? Like what? Tell me the content ecosystem over at Money Group.
Sure. So at Money Group, we have a portfolio of properties and channels that we operate in. And so everything that we're doing is trying to make sure that it's contextually relevant for the channel. A lot of what we do is just working with editorial teams to figure out what is important to consumers, writing about topics that are related to our brand, money.com, finance, insurance, home services, anything that has to do with money. We do a lot of our marketing through paid media and paid search, but now we've expanded to work with a lot of publishers offering our monetization solutions and finding their content and contextually relevant offers to place on it.
I love that. We're going to dive a lot into that in this episode. I want to talk about your audience. How much of your audience is retained audience? They're coming back, continuously reading things versus the person who needs to know about the best credit card for this type of situation or that situation. Like how much of it is just coming in for like a one-time, like coming in, needing that information and bailing versus continuously reading the content?
Sure. We have.
And I know it varies. That's like a loaded question.
Yeah, no, but you're right. I mean, it kind of depends. Money.com, it comes from Money Magazine, and it's a 50-year-old brand with a 50-year-old legacy of providing anecdotes about how to save for retirement and how to plan for the future, and in general, just how to be better with your money. And so there is a long-standing fandom that has followed our brand that comes back for more information about how to be better with their finances. I think it varies. We have very strong content around banking and investing and funding and lending, and all of those things are dependent on our ability to get that information disseminated to our audience outside of just our subscribers. I would say that most of our adventures and endeavors that go out today are trying to get to new audiences. We're trying to develop and find audiences that we don't already have bespoke to us. And that's through working with a lot of our publishing partners.
So how do you guys think about content at the Money Group? Is it the core? Is it, what's the strategy? Is it evergreen? Is it we're writing timely news stuff? Is it a little bit of everything? Like, how do you guys think about content?
Content and the quality of content is still core to the value proposition that is our company. You can't have a thin site that doesn't have people there and reading and sticking these days. It won't last long, and your reputation will flounder. For us, it's about finding things that are relevant. We're searching trends, looking at the macros, what people are searching for and care about, And we're also trying to kind of think ahead. What's going to be next? Is this current president going to be focused on things that are going to affect our audience, or should we be warning them or reminding them about where they should be focused? For some sides of our business, like our paid search business, we are trying to figure out how to both work with the advertisers that we believe in and getting them in front of the consumers that matter to them, but also make sure that we're working with the best companies if we're going to go off kind of script with just what we want to talk about on money.com.
Yeah, love that. Great breakdown. You sent me 2 links to check out, 2 really, really cool pieces of content. One of them is the home security guide. The other is the best places to live. Why did you send me those 2?
One of the things that we found out, because money.com and Money Magazine have such a strong emotional pull and nostalgia for people, is that we can help brands really get their message out to their audience by creating hubs of content and or working on our franchises, which Best Places to Live by Money each year is. And we create a lot of content and interest in the community that might actually end up being sales and bringing a lot of brand awareness. And so money.com's Best Places to Live gets sponsored every year. It goes and looks at all the places in America. We work with third parties to validate and justify their decisions. We work with the advertisers to make sure they have exclusivity to the content, and then we make sure that we can actually disseminate it and syndicate it out to get in front of millions of eyes that ultimately matter to these businesses.
Yeah, that's you mentioned a name. I think you call it like a content hub, but this seems like a pillar piece of content that is, it's evergreen, at least in terms of like, for a certain set of time. It's not just here today, gone tomorrow. It's something that your sales team can sell stuff around. It's something that your affiliate team can find deals. Like, it seems like that these are big pieces of content for you guys that are big drivers of audience, are big drivers of revenue. Like, how do you think about pieces like this? Because there's legs to a piece of content like this versus just a simple listicle that might be here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah. I think for everyone now, they don't know, SEO is not a given. There's a major shakeup. Should we make that kind of investment without a guarantee, ROI? And I think for us, we found that creating a density of content for clustering ideas and about an industry, we can it's a loophole for us. We can get the right kind of information that creates an actual base for people to rally around. And if we're doing our job right, we're getting in front of exactly who our advertisers want, and we're working on the messaging while not being overly salesy. And so we can just find something like what a home security company might care about, or warranty, or bank might care about in a community where or in a location that's important to them, and write about it and write about why it's important and bring those people into it.
I think it's interesting because you come from a magazine, right? Money Magazine. I come from a big print background. With magazines, say you're doing 12 issues a year, you've got these like 12 pillar pieces of content, right? One for each issue. How do you think about that online with like pillar pieces of content like this? Because you could create infinite numbers of them, but you don't have probably the sales influx to sell infinite numbers of them. How do you think about that and building these like pillar pieces of content into your whole strategy?
It's a great lead-in question to, I think, one thing that our business has done well, which is find other publishers and companies that do what we do and partner with them. There are, more than a few ways to try and hedge your bets. And so we've partnered with a lot of the other, main large top 6 in the SERP organic publishers to diversify the portfolio. So if we're going to publish content on money.com as part of a hub or package, we might be working also with the New York Post, with NerdWallet, with Forbes, with Fortune. We have them also creating content in these pillars of categories that create that density that I'm talking about, and ultimately increases the value proposition for not only the size of the audience that we're going to bring in, but the advertisers and who they're actually getting to talk to.
So talk to me, let's go down this rabbit hole, right? So how are you working with these publishers that some might see as like competition or a threat, or they're taking search traffic away from you? You've decided to say like, know what, this is an opportunity for us. How do you think about those partnerships? Are you going in and creating the content for them? Are you working with their teams? Like what does that look like?
I think you have to be extremely flexible. I don't think there's one solution for any of this. Every company is run by a different set of masters who have their own ideals around how they want to structure the business. Yes, do all of those things. You want to be flexible to do flat fees. You want to be flexible to pay them the way that they want. If you're writing content for them, you have to make sure that the content that you're producing is high quality, of course. We just saw Google tell us what happens when you don't. And it's just a matter of us figuring out kind of how to align incentives, make sure that there's enough opportunity for both of us so that it's worth everybody's while.
So selfishly, I want to ask, like, how do you manage something like that? Because I think there was something like you have a couple hundred partners in this program. Like, it's not like you have 5 of them, right? How do you manage something like that where every deal might have little quirks about them to work with each publisher?
It's difficult, and I think that's why we're good at it. We've done a lot of work on the staffing at Money Group to make sure that we have people that understand that really part of the value they bring is the white glove service of managing a relationship that can be difficult. The waxing and waning of budgets, the constant check-ins on performance. If you can ease some of those kinds of tensions or the things that can ruin our day as a media buyer or a manager of a vertical, that's what it takes. It's about having the right people. It's about having good systems in place and building things that are process-oriented. Technology platforms. We've built an amazing lead scoring technology that we use as proprietary to us that allows others to use a portal and log in, track their success. Those kinds of little things matter at the end of the day.
So if there was maybe a publisher who was looking to leverage this, they're listening to this episode, they're like, that's interesting, I want to start that. Where would you even tell them to start? Is it find one partner and let's test it out? Is it like, how do you even begin this process?
At this point, we're kind of trying to find things that are, obviously relevant for our brand. We want to work with publishers that focus on, audience quality, and not just trying to get as many eyeballs as humanly possible. But if they're seeing something on money.com or Consumers Advocate, or you've seen some of our ad units, ads by Money on another publisher in a vertical that you care about, come to our website, drop us a line, reach out to us, and we'll quickly help you analyze whether it's a good fit. But most of the time, if you have a good brand or you're a publisher that cares about your audience, I think we can find a way to work together.
Yeah, I love that. It also obviously helps that you're the Money Group, you're money.com, Money Magazine. Like, there is still something to legacy that there's so much trust in what you guys do because you've been building this brand for a long time that does speak volumes in the marketplace.
Well, thank you. I think it's important when you have a legacy and you have a brand that people care about to protect that. I will give a lot of credit to Greg Powell, our CEO, who did everything in his power to maintain the brand integrity, even to the degree of keeping and retaining the editors who worked there prior to our acquisition of it. It takes a lot these days, especially when everyone's looking at the bottom line, to try and protect something like that. But I can tell you from being with this company for as long as I have that it pays off.
Yeah, it looks like it's paying off. What does monetization look like? So we have the content side. Now let's talk about the commerce side. How do you guys look at brand deals versus affiliate, CPA versus CPC? Like, how are you looking at that so that you can evaluate opportunities that you want to put into your content?
It's a great question, and it is an ever evolving.
It's a moving target.
Yeah, and you might have a relationship that starts on the performance side, and when you have other channels that you can offer, like brand and publisher, you kind of need to understand who you're talking to and what their goals are, and also potentially how we can use a blended approach to meet those goals. And so when we're working with brands that are really performance focused, we get to a certain scale that matters. And if we can't quite get there, or we found that we can unlock it with a branding opportunity or working with a publisher where we've identified a placement, we'll present those. And ultimately, that's best done with, executive teams, CMOs, directors of marketing, digital marketing leads, those who are trying to look at, the entire media mix. It can be difficult sometimes to sell up to your boss when you need to be primarily focused on affiliate.
Right.
We found that by developing specific teams at our group, who specialize in brand or in performance or publisher, that we've been more effective. It's really hard to try and sell everything all at once. People get lost in the sauce. And so we kind of introduce you to the right person, and then they can take you to that opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And I like the diversity you have in just the revenue sources too, right? You can test offers on the affiliate side, see how they work. Low risk, really, other than, obviously not earning the full earning potential.
Right.
And then ascending them up into bigger brand deals, into distribution deals, into which is a great way for you guys to grow. So almost like an ascension model from that regard.
Exactly. And there's a lot of people in this industry who are really good at what they do. And as we've kind of taken a step back and look at the industry to see who's really winning, it's those who can be more dynamic, who can shift focus. When something isn't working in this channel, or we're seeing some kind of macroeconomic effect, let's shift to something else that we know we can run with that's going to work, even if it might mean less volume or at the time a quality check. And that for us has really been successful.
Yeah, well, the same thing's true, diversification of revenue, but it's also diversification of traffic, diversification of distribution, because it's fragmented right now. Like, not everybody reads your articles on money.com. They see it on social, they see it through a partner site. Maybe they're seeing it in ChatGPT or like it's coming in from different sources. So how do you think about that side and this fragmentation of media?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of the things that I think AI and these generative kind of results have shown us is that they still want to reference, places that have real good advice that are effective and trustworthy. And so instead of just trying to only be one of those places, align yourself with those brands, with those publishers that are going to most likely be picked up. And so when you're part of the referral or reference pages for some of these generative results, you're still right where you need to be in front of the consumer. And ultimately, the fragmentation it's just a challenge that means that you need to continue to be in the most relevant placements and experimenting outside of what you know and what you're comfortable with. We're finding a lot of success working with publishers that are in mobile areas and now kind of going in even to desktop, and some of the things that are easy for us to just consider. But ultimately, we found some guys who are very good at what they do, and we double down with them to make sure that that our offering is expansive as possible.
Yeah. How do you, because you have such a strong brand, how do you guys think about brand versus personal brand? Meaning, how much of it is it's an article from money.com versus, no, this was written from Jim at money.com, and he has his own personality, his own thoughts, his own opinions that hopefully align with you and your advertisers. And like, how do you guys think about that and how it's changing? And like, if you're doing a video on Instagram, you need a face on that video, sometimes, right? So how do you guys think about that?
Yeah. I mean, it seems to us that personalization is as important as ever. We're finding more work with creators that, can allow us to, saddle up next to them and their brand and figure out what makes their audience tick and bring our offers to them. The more personalized, the better. We still have a lot of integrity for editorial integrity. We work with our chief editors and writers to make sure that this is in line with their belief systems, and that at the same time you have to tell them a story and help them with the narrative to understand why it's important we want to work with a brand and what's important to that brand and what are the compliance elements that are at stake here. And generally, I think our audience appreciates honesty. And so brands have to get used to being projected as good, bad, or another, and or just, even sometimes not even brought up in a conversation. They're just a topic in a vertical, and they just happen to be placed there as for the offer.
Yeah, such a great answer. You down for some rapid fire?
Let's go.
Let's do some rapid fire. What's the biggest threat to you guys when it comes to content and commerce? AI or Google?
I would say, we love Google, and AI is coming for us all.
There's no choice on either one of them, right? Like their comments. So, what's one content creation tool maybe you or your team can't live without?
Content creation tool. Well, now we love ChatGPT for my sales team and marketing teams, and creating copy for articles and things like that.
What's I'll frame it in either sales or content, but what's a sales or content mistake you guys made maybe recently that you will never be repeating again?
We've gone into we've tried to venture into some verticals that are gray area, and not understanding where the politics are on those is a waste of time and energy and resources. Understand what Google's policies are, understand what the government's policies are, and make sure you walk that line.
Gotta walk that line the right way, because nothing's worth it, right? Like that's at the end of the day. Beyond money.com, email, like the core stuff, what platform do you guys think has the biggest opportunity for you guys to grow on an owned property? So not a publisher, but like your owned properties. What is the biggest potential for you guys?
I think continue to invest in money.com and some of our own properties that are subdomains of that. The platforms that we're venturing into is a lot of the meta and social. TikTok is right there, trying to get video to be a center point for expansion this year, creating that content with consumers who are interacting to bring them to the forefront of the stuff that we're creating too. It's resonating. Yeah,
lots of it. Who's maybe a person, maybe it's a newsletter, maybe it's an X account, LinkedIn account that you look to for commerce, content, someone in the publisher space that is a leading voice that you love listening to?
The Morning Brew is one of my favorite places to get information, and the Hustle. Also, the voices and founders from both of those organizations. Incredible job.
Yeah, and great, quick, 5 minutes. I know my news.
I don't know how they do it.
I don't either, but they're doing a great job.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We can all learn something from them.
Yeah.
Awesome, Cooper. Where can people find you? And if they want to get down into the money group rabbit hole, where should they start?
So if you want to find me, you can send me an email at cooper@money.com. You can go to money.com and see to contact us and find all the different ways you can work with us, submit to see if you qualify. And outside of that, you're in good hands. Ask around. You'll find us.
I love that. Cooper@money.com. That's a pretty sweet email address. Like that'll open doors sometimes.
I got to play it down sometimes. Yeah.
I love that, man. Hey, all the links and everything is below in the show notes. Make sure you check it out. Check out what Cooper and they are doing at the Money Group. Thank you guys so much for watching this, man. Thank you for doing this, dude.
Very much.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
We'll see you guys in the next one.